Hey, what's up, y'all? This is the Country Critics, the first episode here on the channel. Chris is already laughing. We're off to a good start here. I'm Garth.
Ready to be critical.
That's right. I'm Garth. This is Chris. And again, this is the Country Critics talking about country music and the world of country music that we live in. Yes, we are over a FaceTime call at the moment because we picked the perfect time to start this channel during the global pandemic that's happening right now that YouTube won't let me say. We're just going to call it the Voldemort virus, and we're going to keep it at that. Eventually, we will do these in the same room together, but for now,
Not if I can help it.
but for now, for our own health concerns, we're staying socially distant from each other. And as Chris says, I'm the socially awkward one. He's socially distant. I'm socially awkward.
Who are you again?
Yeah, exactly.
Are we friends?
I don't think so.
Quarantine.
All right, so today we're talking about Alaina's new EP called Getting Good. And I know Chris has some very probably polarizing opinions on this, which doesn't surprise me. It's part of the reason I picked this for our album review this week. It'd be a good introduction to Chris. So,
Definition of half.
so for a quick overview of this EP, there's 6 tracks on this EP. Only 20 minutes in total between the 6 of them, so a very quick listen to get through all of it. Doesn't take very long for you to get through it. I know, I think that was probably a blessing for Chris.
It was, yeah. But go on, proceed.
A couple of these songs we'd already heard as they were already released as singles. Those would be Ladies in the 90s and Getting Good is the most recent single off of this EP. And then 4 new songs that we hadn't heard yet. Overall, I don't know that it was... I don't know that it was bad. I think it's... At least for me, it wasn't. It was one of those... It's just in lieu of the whole pop country scene right now, and that's what Alaina is. Alaina is very much within the pop country realm. There's no question about that. It's no surprise at this point that that's what she is, and that's the kind of music that she's bringing to the table. But I know Chris has a very different opinion than this.
Yeah, I really do. And how do I count the ways as to not liking something?
I don't know. Why don't you count them for us?
All right, you want me to dive right in, just head first?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, man. I tell you what, I could not have something worse in my veins unless it was heroin.
Wow.
Because I'm telling you, that truly was. It lived up to its name. Pop country in my veins was just country in the club. It was just, I'm like, what is this? This is just, I don't want to go to a dance club and hear this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to sit at a bar and hear this. What is she trying to be? Is she trying to appeal to the under 21 crowd? Is she trying to appeal to the single ladies? What is this? I'm just like, what a nice, sarcasm intended, first person point of view. Barf. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. So in terms of In My Veins, you bring that specific song up. To me, I think that was one of the better songs on this EP. I think it made a pretty good start to the EP here. It got my attention very quickly with the fiddle right in the very beginning. Personally, I think it had a decent sound to it. The lyrics may not have necessarily been there, but I think it sounded more country than what maybe the rest of the EP did.
Okay, I think we're definitely going to see differently on that. It did not make me feel like it was country whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't have a Reba feel. It didn't have a Leanne Womack vibe. It didn't channel anyone from current generation to past previous artists. It didn't even channel a singer-songwriter vibe. It was just like, well, let's just call it country, but it's not really pop either. It really felt to me, if that's your lead-off track, it's flash in the pan.
Okay. That's fair. I think in terms of everything else on the EP, though, to me, I think it was better. I haven't been a huge fan of Ladies in the 90s ever since it was released. I don't like the sound to it. I do get it. I get the mentions in it. I grew up in the 90s. I know what kind of growing up in the 90s was like. I get where she's coming from with that.
Yeah.
At the same time, I don't necessarily like the sound to it. But, that being said, I think there were more forgettable songs on this EP. I listened this through like 7 different times to make sure I knew what I was talking about with this. And there's still Country in Me and Somebody Else's Problem, I don't remember anything about those songs. I listened through 7 times and I don't remember those songs.
I can't. I do give you some sympathy because your ears have to be hurting after hearing some of those songs 7 times.
Yeah.
But I only listened to it once, and I will admit that the last song, I even made notes. The Other Side, I did not finish the track.
Okay.
I have never been
Which song was that?
The Other Side.
Oh.
Final track.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a minute. More in a minute, folks. Looking at that, you mentioned ladies in the 90s, and I tell you, good grief. Could we, could I just hit the dial instead of hitting her one more time? Because it was just like, find me something else. Find me some silence even. I'm not a big fan of more songs about her. It was a lot of first-person stuff, and that drives me up the wall. I will give points for the writing team on that one, though, for the references to the 90s. I mean, as I listened to that one, I did listen to that not twice all the way through, but I did rewind, so to speak, to pick up on a few. Dina Carter's Strawberry Wine. I mean, if you're in your 30s now and you listen to that, you were a teenage girl, college age in the 90s, that was like your theme song.
Mm-hmm.
It was Strawberry Wine. Britney Spears, Reba's Fancy, Genie in a Bottle by whatever her name was. The one I did like, though, that I had to chuckle at for being a pop country was, TLC's No Scrubs.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, okay, that one threw me a curveball. I wasn't expecting that one to come out.
Yeah.
So, points to that. On the whole, didn't really like the musicality. Again, too much techno, too much pop. You really want to pay homage to the 90s. Ditch the Scrubs, ditch Britney. Find some others, where were some of the Faith Hills? What were some of, I'm drawing a blank now all of a sudden on some other 90s
Shania Twain
artists. Yeah, Shania Twain.
But I think that's part of the thing here, too. I do think it makes sense for her to name drop Britney Spears in here, given that she is so pop country. That makes sense to be one of her influences.
And you may be onto something with that. The other one that got me was, and I think you had mentioned, what was it? Was it Getting Good was one that you said was kind of forgettable?
No. Well, I said Somebody Else's Problem and Country in Me were forgettable.
Okay. Somebody Else's Problem. It turned me off right away with the way, the delivery.
Yeah.
Just, it was an absolute country and rap. And what's that put together? Crap.
Well, you know what the funny part is? I was reading, through the Apple Music description of this album, and it literally said that, a quote from her about Somebody Else's Problem was that song was the most like her personality than any other song she'd ever recorded.
Yeah, well, did you also look deeper into the Apple Music release that shows she makes a statement about every track on the EP?
I did not. I glanced over it. I didn't actually read the whole thing.
I didn't read them all, but if you're going to promote an EP and you're going to say something about each track, that tells me the music doesn't sell itself. That tells me you're getting into a room with some session musicians that you don't really know. You don't have a really good working rapport with a lot of the staff, the producer. You're just going to throw something together, talk about it a little bit, and try to sell it. Sorry, but somebody's selling snake oil at the Dog and Pony Show with that.
Maybe that should be her next album. I'm selling snake oil at the Dog and Pony Show.
I mean, I'll listen to almost anything, and that's a reference to a Mighty Mighty Boss Tones track for some of you out there that may listen to music other than the country genre, which is good. Always keep an open mind.
Yeah, I didn't get that reference. I do listen to stuff other than country, but I didn't get the reference.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's one I always like to when I raise an eyebrow or question something that doesn't really kind of seems too good to be true. I'll always reference that line. Yeah, I think they're selling snake oil at the Dog and Pony Show. Next track on your list. What are you thinking here?
To me personally, I think I already mentioned In My Veins was one that I think stuck out to me, mostly because of the music, not necessarily because of the lyrics. The only other song that really stuck out to me, which I think we're going to have a difference of opinion on here because you've already mentioned it, was The Other Side. I wouldn't call it a great song, but in terms of songs that stuck out to me the most on this album, it would be between In My Veins and The Other Side. The Other Side, while it has a very religious overtone to it, I don't think you necessarily have to be religious to get the message and to enjoy it. It's more about wanting, I guess, your the ones that came before you, your loved ones that came before you, to see that you're having a good life even after they're gone. You know, I guess that's at least what I got from it.
Yeah, and bear with me here while I plug myself in. My phone's about to die. We're gonna have to edit some of that out there.
I think we're gonna leave all this in.
You know what? If you want to.
Oh, now we're back on vertical.
I know it. Daggone it, the thing done went and changed on me. This is bad, you know.
Mm-hmm.
She asked me why. I just went on and told her. There were all kinds of the crooked.
That looks good to me. As long as you don't keep jostling side to side here.
I'll jostling whoever I want to. What's she look like? Well, you can work on your editing skills. Let's get back to The Other Side, because it was definitely not the Aerosmith version I was hoping it would be.
Oh, yeah? You were hoping it was an Aerosmith cover?
Yeah, I was hoping it was going to be an Aerosmith cover, and no, it did not.
No, it was not. So
It disappointed.
Okay, so why did it disappoint?
I'll be flat honest. I am not a fan of songs that pull at your heartstrings. And they not just pull at your heartstrings, they pull at your heartstrings in such a direct way that you can't escape it. You can't get around away from it to say, oh, I can make it after this. I'm okay. I mean, this was freaking Sarah Beth walked back into the room, and it's just I can't do that.
I love how you keep referencing that song.
It's the worst song ever.
I'm not gonna disagree with that.
And this is just another Sarah Beth. I don't want to hear about Grandpa dying and you trying to start the car or whatever the lyrics were. Here, what did I write down? Oh boy, another pull at your heartstrings because you lose a loved one's song. Worn out trope. Couldn't finish Sarah Beth or whatever this was called. Sing a song that makes you proud of what he did. Sing a song about who they were. I don't want to know how you feel. I don't give a care how you feel. You want to pay homage to someone, you want to pay your respects in song and voice. Make it about them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make it about how sad you were and how this went and boo-hoo. I don't want a boo-hoo song. I want a song that makes me think about somebody else.
Yeah.
We all know what loss is like. But we don't know what people did or who they really were. What they were capable of. This could have been your ordinary, everyday, average guy that, let's just say he was a mechanic for 40 years, ran his own business. Who cares whether he was successful? He went out and did this. He did something to meet other people's needs. Sing a song about that, not about your worn out, broken heart from crying your eyes out. What would be freaking do?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I mean, I guess we're gonna have differences of opinion on this. I'm not defending it to the point where I'm saying it's a great song, but in terms of the 6 songs that we got on this EP, I think it's one of the 2 best. Yeah,
the other one that let's see, where was I here? That one was probably a good one for to tug at people's heartstrings. You're always going to get their attention.
Mm-hmm.
You're always going to get the sympathy vote, I guess you could say. It definitely, I did not feel like I was getting good.
You didn't?
Or as she puts it, getting good. She really knows how to put the ooh in good. But it's more like ew. I mean, that's all I have to say about getting good.
Well, okay then. So, rating on this one, Chris, I have to imagine your rating's not very high.
Oh no, this one's right there at the bottom of the barrel. Musically, lyrically, talent wise, it sounds like songs you'd hear on a TV show, and I mean a sitcom, not a contestant challenge
Well, I
show.
was about to say she did come from American Idol.
No, this ranks right up there with like the Who's the Boss theme song from the '80s.
That bad?
Yeah, it's just this is where these songs go. Is just like they're just TV drama show songs. They're not keepers to the point that you're gonna say, "I've played it once. I want to play it. I want to play it every day for a month because it just gets in my veins and sticks with me." No,
Mm-hmm.
that's not it. This on a scale of 1 to 10, it's getting a firm 2.
Okay.
It's getting a 2 because they put forth some effort. Somebody put forth some effort into writing. Somebody put forth effort into putting it together, being a producer. Is somebody going to want to put this on a resume and say I produced this album? Lord, I'd hope not.
You make a good point. I don't know that I would necessarily rank it that low. I'd give it a solid 5. It wasn't great. Honestly, I wouldn't even say it was good. But I don't think it was a 2. I don't think I don't think it was a complete dumpster fire. Let's put it that way.
No, it was not a true 0. It was not so bad I want negative numbers on my rating scale.
Which I have heard him ask for before.
Somebody else's problem is the 2020 version of 1978's "I Will Survive" by Gloria Gaynor.
I don't even know that song.
You can also look up "You Had Me" from 2004 by Joss Stone. Same thing. I'm moving on because you used me, you abused me, whatever the case may be. I'm over you. I'm moving on. You can be somebody else's problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. About every 5 years, the woman's anthem comes out. That's great. I don't have a problem with that. But it's just, how many versions of that can you do before it just becomes worn out? I don't take exception to the fact that, it's a feminist anthem. No, it's not that. It's getting over a bad breakup. It's getting over a relationship. Sure, y'all have to have that song in your life that gets you through the dark times. When it comes down to it, yeah, it's just it's just a trope. It cycles back around, kind of like fashion, like movies in Hollywood. They recycle the same ideas for after a certain period of time, they rehash it, and that's what this is. This is the 2020 country version of a pop song from '04 and a disco pop song from the '70s. And that's all that really is. It's not anything deeper than that. So if people think I'm bashing somebody, no, I'm just bashing the general idea that it can't go anywhere but that. It's not going to get any better. It's not going to get any different because it's the same thing keeps getting written about. People do people wrong all the time. Guys talk about it, that she left me for somebody with a bigger pickup truck and a nicer looking dog. It's just the way it's presented.
Yeah, you're right.
Had it been presented in a way other than the almost pure pop sense that it was, it might have really could have gone somewhere because it could have made you think that she was a victim of someone that was physically abusive, mentally abusive, a drug addict, and all the things she did to help that person, not just something you can simplify and boil it down to that you can identify with right away and say, I'm going to get that, I'm going to fix the broken car and move on. And it's like, there's more to it than that. It was too simple.
Fair point. And I think you're right. And I think our combined score really shows that because, if you gave it a 2 and I gave it a 5, it means it's a 3.5. So, yeah, this is, to be completely honest, at least in our opinion, this is not very good.
No, I was really honestly hoping for a sleeper track on there.
Mm-hmm, me too.
If I want to hear, some good feminist country, I'm going to go with Angelina Presley. She's kind of that alt country, kind of almost like a female troubadour in a sense. That song, Motel Bible, or I mean, she's got a song called Knocked Up. She's got Pain Pill, Wrangled. It's, about the way she's been treated. It's about the expectations put on her by a mother that wanted things out of her that she never got. So, it's kind of like, this is my chance to shine, as she, the parent wants to shine through the daughter, but the daughter doesn't want to go that direction. She wants to take her own path in life, not what is being chosen for me or the way I'm being directed. That's where I go with kind of the feminist, country. But somebody else's problem was just plain and simple. It was just kind of a pop get over you song.
Mm-hmm. And
I was hoping for a sleeper on the album, like some of the sleepers that I've found with other artists. You don't go through the whole album and go, I only like the popular tracks that hit the radio. You dig deeper enough and listen to it, tracks grow on you. And you can see where an artist puts all their heart and soul into a track. But then they have others that don't get released, don't get talked about, and you go, that's a really good second choice. If they hadn't done this, I would have put more effort into that, and then have another track. Jack White of the White Stripes and the Raconteurs, as a solo artist, some of his material subject matter's really dark, but the ones you can tell where they put every ounce of energy they had into one track, and it is dynamite. It blows up. It makes a beautiful explosion, and you're sitting back reveling in that, going, I want more. And then you dig deeper on the album and you see other songs, and he's an artist that's like that to me. Chris Stapleton's another one that when they get it right, man, the chemistry is there. Watch out, because it's going to be powerful.
Yeah.
And this, I didn't get any power out of. I got a dance album.
Yeah. Which is sad, because I have liked some of Lauren Alaina's stuff in the past. I'm not sitting here saying I don't like Lauren Alaina and I think she puts out terrible music. I'm pretty sure this is your first introduction to Lauren Alaina, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
I've heard pretty much everything she's put out, and it's been hit or miss, at least to me, but there has been stuff I have liked. This is not part of it. There are better songs on here than others, but nothing I don't think I would even call good, let alone great.
Yeah.
That was our album review on Lauren Alaina, Getting Good EP. I had to think about that for a second, if it was an EP or what it was.
EP.
Yeah, that'll do it. That's our first introduction for the Country Critics. Tuesday we'll have our first reaction video to a new single, and then Thursday will be Throwback Thursday with an older single, our reaction to that as well. And that'll be the typical schedule here for the Country Critics. Tuesdays are going to be new music reactions. Thursdays are going to be Throwback Thursday reactions. Saturdays are going to be album reviews. So mark your calendars. Those are the days you will want to look on YouTube for these. Make sure you're subscribed. Get that notification bell turned on. That way you see all the notifications for all of our videos and you don't miss a thing. Make sure you like it down below as well and share so the YouTube algorithm knows that you like our stuff and that other people might like it as well. But at that, he's Chris.
And I'm socially distant. And he's Garth.
And I'm apparently socially awkward. Have a good one.
See you next time.